In this video, we're going to talk about the secrets, the hacks that you can use in order to be able to make sure that your credit score is in the best place possible here in 2022. First things first, when it comes to your credit, and that's going to be your payment history. Your payment history is going to make up 35% of your credit score, and that is a huge amount. This means that you are going to want to make sure that you're paying your balance in full every single month. Put your credit card on auto pay, and then you won't have to think about it, and you can just go ahead and pay that balance right off the bat and not have to worry about it. Now, next up is the amount that you owe to any sort of credit card company. That's going to be 30% of your total credit score. What this means is if you have a total credit line with a credit card company that is $2,000 and you have $1,000 on that credit card that you're paying off, then you've actually used 50% utilization. It's suggested that you use at least 30% or less utilization on your credit cards to look the best in regards to the credit card companies. However, if you've gotten to a point where you have overspent and you are high on your credit limit, you're going to want to get back on track. If you're able to pay off all of that in a single month, then pay that balance off right away so that that is no longer negatively impacting your credit score. If not, then you're going to want to make sure that you're getting on a payment plan and you are making sure to pay on that credit card every single month so that you won't have that balance in the near future. Now, next up, it's extremely important that you have a mix of credit. And what that means is getting different kinds of credit. This means getting a mortgage. If you're at the point where you're ready to buy a house, that's gonna be a different kind of credit under your credit score, and it's gonna be important that you have that. It's also something that getting other credit cards. If you're at the point where you have been doing well with credit cards and you believe that you can get more credit cards and use them responsibly, then go out, get some new credit cards, and that's going to increase your total credit limit, which is going to help increase that credit score over time. Do be aware that if you are getting a mortgage, then that is something that is going to, in the short term, it's going to negatively impact your credit score because it'll be a hard inquiry on your credit. However, in the long run, it is something that can benefit your credit, and these short-term hard inquiries do come off and stop negatively impacting you after 2 years. If at all possible, keep credit cards open. This is extremely important because if you are going through and closing old credit cards because you're not using them anymore, then that's going to negatively impact the total amount of credit that you have available, which is going to negatively impact your score. And it's also going to negatively impact the length of your credit history, which is 15% of your total score. When you cancel a card that you have had for, let's say, 2 years, and you have 2 new cards, but those new cards you've only had for 6 months, that's going to negatively impact your credit score because now the length of your credit history isn't as long. It's important to check your credit report every so often. I would suggest every 6 months to a year at the very least to be checking that credit report. The importance of this is making sure that there's not something on your credit report that you don't recognize, something that you didn't actually do, and for some reason it's applying to your credit report and it's an error. If you do find an error, you're going to want to contact the credit reporting agencies and make sure that you dispute that and try to get that taken off of your credit report. Next up, if you have federal student loan, you're going to want to go ahead and start paying that off. It's a good habit to get into, is paying off any sort of loans that you have. Specifically with a federal student loan, it's something that can help you in regards to increasing your credit score by paying that down, and it's just a good idea to start working on that even if it's in deferment right now. Now, if you're starting to work on your credit and it's just you've either had a bankruptcy or you are just new to credit and you're having a hard time being able to get your first credit card or another credit card, it may be a good idea to get a secured credit card. Now, the Discover It secured credit card is a very reputable company, very reputable card, and it's going to be a good option for you to be able to get started. This card is going to be able to help you in being able to build that credit by giving them, let's say, $200 or $300. Then that will become your credit limit, and then you will have a credit limit of $200 or $300, and then you're able to use that credit card just as you would a normal credit card, and then you just pay it off every single month. This allows them to not have any sort of risk by having you as a customer, but it allows you, even if you don't have credit yet, to be able to build that credit and then eventually be able to get in other kinds of credit cards long term. As we've gone through these points, you may find that you're still coming up short and that you're having a hard time with your finances. It's important to create a budget in order to stay ahead with your finances. By creating a budget, you can get ahead financially and you can win in the financial game simply by understanding where your finances are in regards to how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and then you're able to better set aside money for investments into things like stocks, into crypto, into an emergency fund, into real estate, whatever it may be. You're able to better find that money, put it aside, and then prepare for your future. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next week on Monday. Peace.